A couple months ago, Canon announced that they were designing a gauntlet for third-party lens manufacturers to make their way through like rats trying to find the cheese. And it was a legal system. There was a lot of battles ahead. They wished them well, but people were outraged. Down in the old comment section of Life, people pretended that they would boycott Canon because they don't even let third-party lenses. So I'll go to Sony. I'm switching to Sony. I'm going to sell all my stuff. You're not selling the damn thing. You're on the Canon website looking for deals right now. You think Canon's the only one banishing third-party lens manufacturers to the dungeons under Epstein Island? Well, my notes say otherwise.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Can you hear this? Does that transfer? That annoys me. This lav cord. We need a new system, not wireless, something that irradiates my testicles. GoPro 11. Super view with boost stabilization on. So you remember a couple months ago, Canon says to Viltrox, hey, you know that lens you made for us that autofocuses? That was obtained using illegal information. Sell it one more time and we will punch. With lawyers. Lawyer punches hurt. So basically, Canon's not allowing third-party manufacturers to make autofocusing lenses. Manual, okay. But a nice one that people actually want? No. And people were just outraged that Canon would do this, but Canon's literally the last on the list of people already doing this. The first is Nikon. They just released an article over at nikonrumors.com, and it said something like, Nikon will only allow lenses that complement their existing lineup. So they first will decide if you're even allowed to make the focal length. And it has to be something unique, something they don't feel like they want to make. So that's almost the same level of crippling, but I don't see anybody talking about Nikon. And when Nikon actually really... I thought that was like some guy tearing down a house, and it's literally just a woman scraping ice off her window. It's a little loud. So the lenses that Nikon does actually allow, they will rebrand into a Nikon lens and charge you like 40% more than it would have cost. So like, you're not getting third-party lenses with Nikon either. When it comes to Sony, the best third-party lenses for Sony are the Zeiss series. They have some character and soul. And Sony is slowly trying to kill off their good old buddy Zeiss Hammersmith. And it's working, isn't it? I thought that was a runner. Loud steps. So windy and cold. The ice storms flowing in my blood. In the early days of Sony and Zeiss, it seemed like a partnership, where Zeiss basically, it performed like a Sony lens would. Perfect autofocus, amazing. But they were beautiful. There was no but. Why did I say that? But now, I think Sony is regretting that partnership, and slowly but surely, they're sneakily making every lens Zeiss has ever made slightly better and smaller and lighter. Oh my God. It was the 35mm 1.4, and then boom, G Master. You had the new 50mm 1.4 G Master. Thanks for the 0.2 Tonys. Couldn't even add that up in a Christmas ball sandwich. Just a little side rant. Like, what was the point of releasing a 50mm 1.4 when you have a 1.2 already? There's a Zeiss Batis 55mm 1.8 that kills all the others. Anyway, it's cheaper, lighter, stronger. Stronger for sure. Like, why did you release that thing? But whatever, okay. That also kills off the Zeiss 50mm 1.4. You had the 16 to 35, 24. Boom, we released power zoom, lighter, cheaper, better. Every lens Zeiss has ever had, Sony's trying to just like nudge them out of line. Oh, sorry, then they die. And Sony's main strategy to compete with the other third-party manufacturers is to remove features when using those lenses. Like focus breathing compensation doesn't work unless it's a Sony lens. And there's other, like active stabe doesn't work right. So every company is trying to stop these stupid third-party companies from making lenses. Like, stop it. We make lenses. What are you doing? We're Sony. Some random-ass company just starts off and makes accessories for your thing? That's weird. Then you got Panty Boy with their L-mount Alliance. That's a strange brotherhood. No other brothers allowed in that mix. Little pack of dogs over there. There's nobody else for the L-mount Alliance that's allowed to make autofocusing lenses. It's not proven, but there's none that exist. It's only Leica and Sigma. Leica super overpriced, Sigma super stupid. And then Panty Boy with, like, they're not even making anything. No telephoto. Yeah. I think in that case, it's more that the other companies don't really see the L-mount as something to be striving for. So they're just not wasting their time. But still, Panasonic, how could you? I'm bored of the device that I'm shooting on. I'm going to switch to a superior technology-based system. Thank you, Huawei, for blessing my life continually. I love the white balance shifts on this phone. Nothing gets better. Let's not forget that Fuji, for the longest time, didn't allow any third-party lenses to exist. That might not even be true. I think most people it was like a L-mount thing where nobody cared about Fuji. They weren't doing much. It was like a vintage, strange thing with freak colors. I mean, to this day, Fuji is still that. But they didn't have anything. And then finally, Sigma came on board and made their classic trio of lenses that made in 1981. And then Tamron also comes on, not knowing that they can't sync stabe. So, like, again, you have third-party lenses, okay, they exist, but you cannot sync stabilization. They're dumber, cheaper, lighter, better, worse. I did write down Olympus, but do they even make cameras anymore? I've seen Olympus executives. They're in sushi college. That's all they're working on. Salmon, how do you fillet it? How do you kill the parasites? Can you spray bleach on the fish without killing your customer? That's all they're working on. So it's not just Canon ruining your life and making no third-party lenses available. It's every company wants that. Canon's just the bold one to come out and say it. They're just like, you know what? Take off. Take a hike, buddy. Stop making lenses for us. And I respect it. I'm not one that looks for third-party lenses that are, unless they're Zeiss or Leica. I don't know what the obsession is with third-party lenses. I like that they're cheap. That's about the only thing. And then they often achieve the same like 1.4 aperture and you're like, wow, that's so cheap. And you look at the image and it's like, okay, it's not quite as good. Sometimes it's as sharp, but the character is missing. The colors are strange. Oh man, there's birds. I wonder if I could get this selfie stick in a tree with slow motion footage. Wow, that was bad news. That was harder than it looked. To get the birds on a timer, I had a 5-second timer and I'm waiting. It did not work out, unlike Huawei Vivid Color Science. It's working out for me right now. Why? I switched to smooth color science because I couldn't handle the embarrassment of having bad skin tones. Thank you, Leica, for contributing to this Huawei device. It makes me the beautiful person I know I could be and am. To hell with that, we're going full beauty mode. Beauty settings up to 10, teenage girl skin confirmed. So when it comes to third-party lenses, Canon, you're not so bad. You're leading the way, standing up for yourselves. That's where they make most of their money. It's lens sales. People buy one body, and then multiple lenses, and then sell the lens, get another one. And lenses hold their value over time. They're classic pieces, unlike our dollar that buys less and less food every second. It's like you could have a lens made in 60s, and people they're dying for it. A vintage lens, yes. You could keep a nice lens will last forever, whereas the camera body, it's like this old thing, 480p, CCD sensors. Those were the shit. We learned very little today, other than this selfie stick is amazing. And I'm going to leave now. So natural. It's hard to do the rule of thirds, though. What do you think? Canons, they're terrible for other reasons. Not the one you think. Oh my God! It was unnecessary. Oh, when cars say hello, they're really loud and jarring. Oh my God, are you about... Just say, hey! Roll down the window. I know it's cold out. It's so cold. Why did I turn up this street? I'm lost. I'm leaving. Phones suck. Subscribe for more videos.